To be honest, it's one of those things where things just kind of fall into place, where it's like, okay, this makes sense. This is the direction that I know God is pushing me toward. I just know I'm excited, and I'm really excited to share this journey with you guys and for what's to come. Hola, hola, mi gente, ¿qué pasa? Y bienvenidos de nuevo a mi canal. If you're new here, what is up? Welcome to my channel. My name is Ariana, and I'm a digital nomad documenting my journey as I travel around the world. Today we're going to be talking about what is next for me. So I shared with you all how I got laid off from my job, and it was in the midst of me already being a full-time nomad. So it honestly kind of left me lost in a sense of what I was going to do next, how I was going to support myself financially while still traveling full-time. And honestly, I was feeling a bit stuck for a good amount of time after I got laid off. Being that I left the States and sold my car, let go of my apartment, really sold all of my stuff. I used to have a storage unit, and I went back and got rid of everything. It didn't seem like the easiest solution would be to just go back to the States. Not only did I not want to do that because I left for a reason, and I have loved traveling and I love this nomadic lifestyle of mine that I have created, but logistically, making the move back to the States would be a lot harder than the alternative, which is to figure out a way to support myself while still traveling. So returning to the States just didn't seem like a reasonable option for me. And another thing that I considered was getting a digital nomad visa somewhere. I had done one in Colombia. I actually got, the same time I got laid off, I had already been thinking about getting the nomad visa, and so that kind of solidified for me that decision to go ahead and get it, just because it made the most financial sense for me to just be still while I figured some things out. So I have had the visa in Colombia, and it was a fairly simple visa process, really straightforward, and I did it through a lawyer. So that allowed me to stay in the country for a year. I ended up only staying for like 9 or 10 months. Get a little antsy as a nomad traveler. But yeah, that was the longest stint I have ever stayed anywhere, and I was grateful for the opportunities to sit down and sit still. And even though other countries nowadays offering the digital nomad visa, the requirements for these visas vary, and some of them have income levels that I didn't meet because I was technically unemployed, right, while I'm out here traveling. So it was tricky, and it almost got to a point where I was feeling kind of stuck because I didn't feel like I could return to the US to live. And I was wanting a place where I could be there long term, to be able to sit still for longer than 3 months and figuring out how to do that. A lot of countries do allow US citizens to stay there for up to 90 days. But after 90 days, you usually have to leave or do some sort of visa run, meaning you leave the country and then re-enter again. So it just makes things a little complicated when it comes to like your accommodations and booking something long term. And yeah, it was almost as if I was in a position where I could live anywhere in the world and at the same time had nowhere in the world to go. So yeah, similar to this nomadic life of mine, it was a journey, a process that I went through. The answer was not clear initially, and I feel like it just kind of took some time for me to figure out my way and know where it was that God was leading and calling me. Because at the end of the day, that was where I was trying to go. That was what I was trying to be in alignment with, because my plans clearly just out the window. I have been traveling for 3 years now, and as fun as this journey has been, you get tired, you know? I would love to be able to set up a home base somewhere where I could at least leave my suitcase and take vacations. I can go somewhere and not need to carry my entire life with me when I go. So I was getting to the point where I was craving a home base. I was looking for a new means of supporting myself financially and trying to figure out how to still live this digital nomad life. As things happen to go, one random night at 3 a.m., I just get this tug, this sensation to wake up and look at my phone. I don't even remember how I got to where I got to. I might have done some like random web search of just jobs that can be worked remotely. There was one thing that stood out to me when I was looking at these options of different jobs to pursue remotely, and teaching English just kept popping out to me. I've actually taught English before. I've taught English and Spanish. I've been both tutors, both online and in person. And for some reason, the idea of teaching English abroad had never clicked with me. But that night that I was randomly scrolling on my phone, it was like, no, this is it. We need to learn more about this. So to make a long story short, I started researching more into what it would take to get a certification to teach English as a foreign language, or what is also known as a TEFL certification. This is a certification that is accredited internationally, so essentially if you have it, you can teach English anywhere. And so that really stood out to me as something that was attractive because it would allow me to earn income and still pursue my digital nomad journey. So yeah, that really sparked my interest. I started looking into it more. I ended up coming across a few different reviews and videos about people talking about teaching English in Vietnam. And to be honest with you, this is really kind of what sealed the deal for me, or it just resonated so deeply, because when I tell you, Vietnam has been on my mind for places to visit. Ever since our time in Thailand earlier this year, I told myself that when I go back to Asia, like Vietnam was gonna be top of the list. I've just heard so many good things about it. And I liked Thailand a lot, so I feel like it could have some similarities with the Thai culture as well. You can even ask my friends. I've been telling them like, yeah, I'm gonna go to Vietnam. I'm gonna go to Vietnam. Like, I don't know what it is, but I'm going to Vietnam. I ended up finding this program called Ninja Teacher, and looked more into what they had available. And to be honest, it's one of those things where things just kind of fall into place, where it's like, okay, this makes sense. This is the direction that I know God is pushing me toward. Later on that week, I met with one of the teachers at Ninja Teacher. I got to talk to her about more details, what it takes to get the certification, how much teachers get paid, what the working hours are like. Yeah, just more about the schedule and all the things. And everything she said sounded really good. I'm like, okay, this fits, this tracks, this aligns, this works, because by being an English teacher in Vietnam, I would be able to get a visa or a working permit to stay there long term. So that checks off one of the biggest things I was looking for, which is stability, right? It still allows me to be a nomad as well, because being based in Vietnam allows me to travel to other countries in Southeast Asia. So not only am I getting that stability, but I'm still able to satisfy my travel bug. So the teaching opportunity in Vietnam, with the salaries that they offer native speaking teachers, would put me in a good place to get my finances in order, and not just get them in order, but also save on top of that, and really just stretch my money further in order to, yeah, put myself in a much better position than I've been in without being employed. I also feel like the opportunity is a really good way to take on a new skill. As I mentioned, the certification is accredited worldwide, so I could start out teaching in Vietnam, but this also, by having the certification, it would allow me to teach from anywhere. So I can take it with me, and it essentially could become a income stream for me to work from anywhere around the world. So an added skill set, giving financial and physical, like, living stability. I also felt like the opportunity provided me with a chance to pursue a passion that I didn't realize I had. I recently started taking the course to get the certification this week, and just from watching the first class and hearing the instructor go over different methods of how to engage students and how to teach them, it really took me back to like my childhood days and like when I was younger, and I had these flashbacks to when I was a kid and I would be teaching. Like I am the oldest of my siblings. I have two younger siblings, and we used to play school when we were younger, and I remember us being like in our room, and I would set them up with, you know, their little homework assignments and things, and I'd have my little board, and, you know, I'd be acting as a teacher for them. And I don't know, just having that flashback come back to me kind of made me feel like I was in a real full circle moment. Like, this is something that you've already been prepared to do long before this moment. Like, this was always in the cards. This was always in your destiny. And I thought that was really neat. And like I mentioned before, I have done some tutoring. I've done teaching around languages, and I've always had a passion for languages. I love languages. That's why I speak Spanish. I don't know how I'm going to be able to adapt to Vietnamese. I will try to learn, but we'll see. We'll see if I can pick up some Vietnamese while I am in Vietnam. That would be ideal, but I do know that the language is hard, so just trying to set expectations. But yeah, this opportunity was really speaking to me and really stood out to me as the right thing for me in this time because of those reasons. When I was talking to one of the teachers about the program, she mentioned to me that in the coming weeks they were going to be having a Black Friday sale. So this past Friday is actually when I bought the course. And I just thought that was, again, perfect timing, because the course was 50% off, which is like a great deal, a great deal. So yeah, the timing of that, but not only just getting a good deal on the course itself, but also the timing of when I wanted to be in Vietnam and the timing of when they will be basically hiring a new group of teachers. The Lunar New Year in 2025 is at the end of January, and schools are essentially closed through the holiday and a couple weeks afterwards. So essentially they wouldn't be looking to hire until like towards the end of February. And I've also heard that it is best to apply for jobs when you are already physically located in the country. So the timing of that aligns because the way my travel plans are set up, I wasn't planning to be in Vietnam until at least like early or mid-January. But given that I wouldn't need to be applying for jobs until around like end of February, that gives me some time to kind of slow travel and make my way over there, which I really appreciate. So yeah, that's what I meant by like the timing was just lining up perfectly, not only with, you know, getting a great deal on the price of the course and how long the course is, but also when schools would be hiring and when I could actually put my certification into action. It all just lined up perfectly. And I think that is definitely a for sure sign to know that, you know, you're doing what you're called to do. You're going in the right direction. A bit about the course. It is a complete self-guided course online. So essentially I'm watching an instructor teach a class, and watching that class through the course. And then you have to answer questions and submit assignments. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty chill and laid back. You get to work on it whenever your schedule allows. So right now I am aiming to do one course per week, and that would have me finishing the certification or completing the course right around the time when I would need to be applying and getting to Vietnam in like mid-February. So yeah, that is what's coming for me. I am actually really excited, and I hope that you guys are too. I definitely plan to bring you along on this journey and share what it's like not only to be working as an English teacher in Vietnam, but be working as a Black American woman in Vietnam. That in itself I know is an experience unlike any other. So I'll be taking you guys along and showing you all what it's like, what life is like over there, and yeah, how I like this teaching opportunity. As for my travel plans, so right now I am currently based in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I've been here for almost 3 months, so it's almost my time to go. I'll be headed back home to the US to visit family for the holidays. So I don't know exactly when I'll be flying out to Southeast Asia, but it will be after Christmas. I know that for sure. And where I touch down, your guess is as good as mine. I'm debating between going back to Thailand for a little bit because, you know, I really like Bangkok and I wouldn't mind going back, doing a little shopping before I hop over to Vietnam. Or I might hit the beach and go straight to Vietnam, to Da Nang. It is a city that I want to check out along with Ho Chi Minh City, which is where I will be based. So I may hit the beach first and then actually go get settled down in the city. I don't know, we'll see. I just know I'm excited, and I'm really excited to share this journey with you guys and for what's to come. As always, thank you so much for watching this video. Be sure to share it with someone who you know might be interested in teaching English abroad. This is definitely a channel they should follow, and you should too. So subscribe if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Ciao.